Hey everyone, I'm having a great day here down in Bristol, the Southwest, one of the homes of my Climb Online offices at the Business Showcase. This is my 4th time speaking on their stage and I always have such a great time here. Today I wanted to do something completely different. Over the last couple of years working so closely with Lord Sugar and Grant Cardone, we've really explored the fundamental mistakes that businesses are making, particularly in their infancy, when they're starting up or they're a medium size. What mistakes are they making in their sales process and their marketing process that's really holding them back from being big? So today I spent 45 minutes with a packed, and I mean packed audience, swinging from the rafters, of over 150 people, and we explored in their business what they can change to get to 10x levels and millions of pounds of turnover and profit. The feedback has already been exceptional, but I must say I loved the energy in the room. I loved hearing what's happening in people's businesses all around the country. I always learn a lot, and I hope to coach and teach people a lot as well, and I absolutely love today. So if you haven't seen me talk before, please get to one of my local venues that you see me promote on Twitter, Instagram or LinkedIn. Come to one of my main conferences, which is ClimbCon. We only have 20 seats left of this year's event, but there will be a ClimbCon 2 or one of my marketing boot camps around the country, because I want to do business with all of you, with everyone that's watching this video. So see you soon around the country or at ClimbCon, or contact me at Climb Online. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me back in Bristol. This is this show here is the 4th time I've spoken on this stage. I've never been invited anywhere back 4 times. So this is really nice. Thank you for having me here. I really appreciate you Bristol folk. Everyone's very nice down here. And as Mark alluded to, we conducted, who of you is thinking, God, Mark Wright from The Only Way is Essex has changed? I just thought of that. It's not him, it's me. So basically, Alan Sugar and I, our business Climb Online was very successful in London. The first year we turned over £1.7 million, second year 4 million, 10 million, so on and so forth, very successful. We wanted to go to regional areas because some of the biggest companies in this country aren't in London, believe it or not, despite what everyone in London thinks. There's big companies all around this place. We had a firm conduct a large portion of market research for us, and they alluded that Bristol was the next town that was about to boom. This is 3 years ago. We ummed and ahed, Manchester, Bristol. We decided to go with Bristol, and thank God we did. The first year was 1.2 million. We've grown an exceptional team. Some of them are here today. And thank you so much for supporting our business. And that's why I'm here for the 4th time, because we love it here in Bristol, and you guys appear to love us. So just to get a show of hands, who here is a business owner? Just by a show of hands, business owner. Fuck, you guys are going to love this. Marketing managers, cool. You guys are also going to love me. Accountants, yeah, you guys suck. And that's why I never have accountants come and watch my stuff, because they don't believe in anything that I say. So my audience is perfect. Today, I'm going to try something new. I want to tell you, my job as a digital marketeer is to go into 4 businesses a day. Over the last 9 years, I've gone into 4 businesses every single day, small, medium and large enterprises. I look after the marketing for companies like Emirates, you may have heard of, CV Library, Made.com, TikTok, the biggest app in the world, children's app in the world right now. So I've got an understanding, and what I've been able to pattern together from 5 years of mentoring from Alan Sugar and going into 4 businesses a day, is which businesses have good aspects, which businesses have bad, what good directors do, what bad directors do, and I've been able to create a bit of a recipe. And I'm going to present that recipe to you today. Sound good? Sounds bloody good, because when you leave here, if you implement this shit, game changer, right? So here's what I'm going to talk to you about. First of all, the biggest mistakes, the things you need to stay away from. Lessons from billionaires. I've been mentored now by 2 billionaires, and the lessons they taught me are exactly the same lessons. That can't be a mistake, right? So I'm going to tell you what they told me. I'm going to teach you about how sales and marketing works today in 2019 and beyond, how to get your sales team popping and get record sales over the next few months, and then you can ask me any questions you want. Now, my seminar, I have an annual seminar which I put together, it's sold out now. But it's next Friday. So this is my practice run through. So I'm going to be giving you all I've got in today. So let's rock and roll. Everyone says to me, I get stopped in the street, sometimes by lovely people, sometimes by assholes. They always say to me, well, you know, I could go on The Apprentice and win it, and that's why you're so successful, because you went on The Apprentice and won. Now, in my tryouts for The Apprentice, there were 75,000 people in a building trying to get onto a TV show. 75,000 people is pretty hard, and I was one of 5 locations on that day, so I don't know how many in total there was there. But getting on that show was pretty hard. You got a better chance of winning the lottery. I got on that show into the top 20, I won that show, and I became Lord Sugar's business partner. I'm one of 14 people that have ever been selected as a winner of the show The Apprentice. Out of 14 winners, there's 5 of us left. There's 5 of us still trading. In the UK, every business that starts, 30,000 start a day, only half make it through year 1, only 90% through year 2, and only 4% last 5 years. 0.04% make it past 10 years. Being in business is really hard, no matter if you're an apprentice winner, living in Bristol, living wherever. Winning The Apprentice does not mean you become successful. Ask the other 7 people that won that show, that God knows where they are now. And I'm going to tell you why. So I won the show. On the day that I went on The Apprentice, I had 87 followers on Twitter. I was a big deal. First day on The Apprentice, I had 87 followers on Twitter. The next day, I had 92,000. So a bit of a jump there, 92,000. I was a normal fellow. I'd moved here from Australia, living in a share house with 11 people. My Twitter goes to 92,000. I went into Starbucks for a coffee, and they had to lock the Starbucks door from so many people coming in and asking for selfies and autographs and business advice. I was a 23-year-old guy living in a share house that the week before I couldn't afford to get my shirts dry cleaned. People are coming in and asking me how to increase their turnover of a £2 million company. That's a lot to take on as a 23-year-old apprentice character. And there's a lot to be said. We won't touch on it now, why these people commit suicide and all this shit that's happening to reality TV stars. There's very little support for us off the back of these shows. And imagine being very normal, and I am still completely normal, but going from normal to super, super, super famous back to normal. That journey is very hard, and you need to stay really grounded. I'm very lucky because I won the program, I got Alan Sugar as a mentor, and I got a business, and that's kept me very busy. But here's the bad side. We always usually talk about the good stuff, the millions of pounds my companies make, the 100 of employees I got, my conference that sold out. I'm going to tell you about the bad shit that happened from The Apprentice. I won. So Lord Sugar says to me, Mark, you're going to be my business partner. Right? Fantastic. I was like, that's awesome. He WhatsApps me, he says, Mark, come round to my flat. I've never met him other than across the boardroom table in The Apprentice. He WhatsApps me the next day, says, Mark, come round to my flat. We're going to talk about getting this business going. I think, shit, that's pretty cool. Lord Sugar's WhatsApping me. I go round to his flat, which is the poshest hotel in London. I go in there. I outline my business plan to him. And he says, right, let's get this going. So the next day I go into the office, which he's provided for me. I just won the show. The show's gone on TV. 11.4 million people watched the episode. I walk into the office. I'm the only employee in my company, and he transferred me £250,000 that night. So I did whatever you do when you get £250,000. I took a photo of it in the bank account. I sent it to my dad, said, look, £250,000, that's pretty cool. Guess how many leads I got on day 1 of Climb Online? 7,000. I got 7,000 leads on day 1. I had no employees. I had no computer. All I had was a phone, and the fucking thing was ringing. I had to take it out of the wall because it was so insane. And people then, leads turned into complaints. Oh my God, you're meant to be the Apprentice winner. You can't even provide me a service and get back to me within an hour. Well, I got 7,000 leads. My Twitter and Instagram, my LinkedIn went from, I had 400 connections on LinkedIn. It went to 21,000. And I'm trying to deal with all of the stuff that's coming in, emails, DMs, phone calls, and I couldn't keep up. I didn't have any employees. One, that's a downside.
Every SEO persons in the world, I became their arch enemy. Because my digital marketing agency, Climb Online, went from being unheard of to the most heard of digital agency in the UK. So we were taking their customers, we were taking their leads, we were taking their reputation, and people like to throw rocks at things that shine. I was the new hot toy in town, so customers were asking digital marketing agencies, what about that guy from The Apprentice? What about Climb Online? Are they any good? And they were leaving other digital marketing agencies to come to me. So I became the most hated person in the sector. People were writing blogs about me, making videos about me. People were inventing that they'd met me and I'm not really a nice person. Crazy stuff. I was getting stalked on the way home from the tube. My house was getting broken into. My cars were getting egged. All because I was successful on a TV program. Lot to take in. We have an annual conference called Wright SEO. It's where all the SEO people and digital marketing people in the industry go for one day to like a summit about what's happening in the sector. We have Google there, blah, 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 blah. The organizer asked me to speak, and I said yes. They had 4,000 people in the audience. As I walked up to the stage, this has never happened before, I got booed onto the stage. Booed, shit getting thrown at me, all of this stuff, and I was like, God damn, this is a really serious thing, because people were so jealous of the success I'd had on a fake TV show that they hated me. The trolls were intense, all of this stuff. And on our first month of bit trading, we made a loss, £3,000 loss. Lord Sugar wasn't very happy, I wasn't very happy, and I'm dealing with all of this stuff at the same time. Then, second month, I make sales of £12,000. I think, yes, I'm going to be successful. And I got sued by the biggest digital marketing agency in the UK. Their turnover, 365 million. My turnover, 12,000. So I was in trouble, right? And all this is going on. I'm now turned 24. I've got a lawsuit from the biggest competitor in the King. I've got more social media followers than I know what to do with. And I've got to try and make a success of it, because if your business fails, which it won't after you watch my talk today, your mum and parents and whatever, oh, that's really sad, dear, off you go again, right? If you're the Apprentice winner, it's on the front page of the Sun saying, you know, loser, basically. So they got that pressure added to you. And it's all I think. I'd lay there at night thinking, Jesus Christ, how am I going to do this? So I get sued by this company, and it looks like the lawsuit's going to close us down. It's going to kill us in the water. And I only use Lord Sugar when I need him. I don't call him all the time. One, because he's a cranky bastard. But two, I want to only go to him with good advice, like he's like your dad, or you want to make him proud. I want to go and show him amazing numbers, amazing success, and him go, well done, son. So I never go to him with bad news, I only go with good news, but this lawsuit looked like it was going to shut us down. So I rang him up, and I've got my notepad and pen there, and I said, Lord Sugar, we're getting sued from the biggest competitor in our sector. It's going to crush us. What do we do? And he said, fantastic. I said, sorry? Fantastic. He said, why do you think there's no drinks in the fridge with Coca-Cola? He said, as you're making noise in a sector as a new startup coming up, you'll either get sued or get bought by the competition to take you out of the game. It's like, I've never thought about that before. He said, here's what you do. Ring up the switchboard of the company that's suing you and say, hi, my name's Mark Wright, you're suing me. Yeah, hi, my name's Mark Wright, you're suing me. Yeah, got it. And then what? Say, fuck off. I stopped taking notes at that point, really. He said, because Mark, in business, you get one chance to get a reputation. You either get a reputation that people can mess with you, or you get a reputation that people can try and mess with you, and you won't back down. So we countersued them, right? Countersued them, bullying, all of this stuff, right? Called the police, got gangster with it, right? We won. PR release, David versus Goliath. We were twisting this shit, right? It was amazing. I won £1 million from a lawsuit that someone brought against me. And as Lord Sugar always says, legal is a business term. It's a business tool. Don't be afraid of suing someone or getting sued. Use it in your arsenal to be successful. So all this was going on, and then I started to get some good luck. I hung in there long enough. 2 other Apprentice winners have failed in the first year, and I have no doubt, I really do sympathize with them. It is really tough to win one of these shows and become successful. But I believe that 95% of success is the ability to stay in there long enough. We've all seen that bullshit with the guy that's just about to hit the diamond, but he walks away. Business is all about staying in there long enough. I stayed in there long enough. My company, Climb Online, opened on the 5th of January 2015. We're the most successful business to be founded by an apprentice winner. Turned over 1.7 million in the first year. I was the first apprentice winner to get over $1 million in sales in year 1. We made a profit in year 1, a small profit, but a profit all the same. We've disrupted and completely changed the digital marketing sector, which my competition really didn't like, but fuck them. We created a new culture, and I'm going to talk to you a lot about culture. Culture as a business owner in your company is the key to success, and I'm going to teach you a bit about how I've managed the culture in my company, and I'll go into some examples about how you can do that in yours. The main mistakes most companies make. Some will be in your company, some won't, but this is the main ones I see. Particularly in small businesses, operating too lean, trying to minimize the cost too much, trying to do it all yourself. We all know when you get started as the director, the solopreneur or whatever the hell it's called, you're sitting there and you try to do it all yourself. You cannot become a millionaire yourself. Let me tell you that now. Stop trying to do it all yourself. You need an office, not your bedroom. You need an office. You need employees if you're ever going to make it. Operating too lean and staying too small for too long is killing most of these businesses in the UK. That's what I'd say the main thing is. Focusing on turnover and not profit. Focusing on your margin, your gross margin is really, really, really important. So many companies are so happy to tell you their turnover. Oh, I turn over £1 million. I turn over $1 million. Yeah, how much fucking money do you make, mate? Oh, we made a loss. Okay, so you don't have a business, okay? Focusing on your net profit percentage, which should be 10, and your gross margin percentage is really important. I'm going to teach you about that as well. Failure to delegate. Really, again, entrepreneurs are, we suck at this, and this is the one thing where I've really been coached and had to coach myself. I can do everything better than my staff. You can do everything better than your staff. Let me tell you that now. But you can't do it all. Trusting in other people and delegating is really important. You should always be working. I invested in a PR company last year in Birmingham. It's called Make More Noise. Very successful PR company, but it stayed small for too long. When it investigated what was happening in that company, the owner there, very talented young lady, the hardest young lady I've ever met, working unbelievably long hours, couldn't delegate to other people. So she'd stood still for so long because she couldn't trust that people could write a press release as well as her. Couldn't do the things as long as her. You've got to trust other people and know they're not going to do it as good as you, but as long as they do it 80% as good as you, that's good enough. Let's crack on to the next deal. Not employing the right staff. We've all heard these people before. There's no good staff out there. There's no good employees in Bristol. There's no good people. No, you're just not paying enough money. If you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. Okay, my mum told me to it when she started her first salon in Australia, and it's the best advice I've ever got. The best advice I ever got was actually a man that steals 5 cents will steal a camel, and that became very true. And if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. If your staff are shit, your salaries are low. That's 99% of the case. Don't be afraid. You don't need lots of staff. You need the right staff paid at the right price. Good people cost money. They'll make you more money than you pay them. Forget about it. Get a good person. It will change your business. No sales division. People, oh fuck, when I mentor people, right? I go in and I say, where's your sales? Oh, in the funeral game, Mark, we don't need salespeople. In the PR game, Mark, we don't need salespeople. In the accounting game, we don't need salespeople. Every business needs salespeople. Every business needs salespeople. These are how we make money. Salespeople are free, and when you learn that salespeople are free, they're free because they make money. They bring deals in. A good salesperson will pay them for themselves in the first 3 months, and if they don't, you fire them. Go on, get a new one. They pay for themselves. Go on, get another one. And no marketing budget. No marketing budget is what keeps businesses small. I had a conversation with a guy on the phone a couple of weeks ago. He said, Mark, I'm right here in this argument because I've been a small business owner for 25 years. I said, why do you think your business has always been small for 25 years? It's because you're not prepared to spend money on marketing and sales. And then that's how we learn to grow in this business. Lack of self-belief. This is the main one. If you find a director that's got a small company or a company that's struggling, they feel like they don't deserve success. They feel like it's an accident that they've created a somewhat of a good business. They don't deserve it. It doesn't belong to them. They got lucky. Lack of self-belief is really critical, and most directors are not working on mindset, improving their mindset, increasing their energy, looking after themselves, and believing that they do deserve their success. Not every sale is a good sale. You need to be making sure that on every order that your company gets, you maintain the same gross margin percentage. Doing work and feeling busy does not mean you're successful. Doing work that you make money on makes you successful as an entrepreneur. So straight away, whenever I mentor someone, I analyze what their gross margin percentage is and make sure that every order that's coming in is the right gross margin percentage. Profits are healthy. This is the second one. Profits are healthy, but they're too scared to, they got some success, and this is most businesses, by the way. We get some success, I make a profit. Let's say we make £100,000 profit. Now we're so scared to mess with what we've done to get the 100,000, they stop investing, they stop marketing, and they conserve the £100,000. And then what actually happens is the business starts going backwards. Because when you start a company, you play like you've got nothing to lose, so you become successful. As soon as you start thinking about, shit, I made 100 grand, I better conserve and continue to do the same thing, the business starts going backwards. When you get some profit, keep investing it back in the business, spend more on marketing, get more salespeople, get a bigger office, and this number will go up. Much to your surprise, if your product's good, you maintain your gross margin percentage. If the fire is burning, folks, add wood. Don't stop. Keep doing what you did to get the first 100 grand. Keep adding to it, and the success will keep coming. And what is your P&L telling you about your business? Lord Sugar and I review the P&Ls for all 5 of our companies every morning at 11 a.m. And this was the one thing I wasn't doing before I worked with Lord Sugar. And both mentors I've had that are billionaires, both things that they do is every morning at 10 to 11 a.m. they read a P&L on their whole company. Every single company. The first thing they check is how much cash is at the bank. Second thing is, what are the sales coming in? What is the profit or loss scenario and projection for that month? Knowing your numbers is the key to success in a small or medium-sized business, and you should be checking them every single day. P&Ls, I didn't understand what that was when I first started in business, and my business studies teacher wrote, and I read the report before I came to do this talk, Mark does not understand the fundamentals of business and should not get a desk job. I'd like to see his bank balance and mine today, but that's a whole nother topic for another day. This document is very important to understand. I had dinner last Tuesday night with the CEO of a pharmaceutical company in Pakistan. His company is the largest company in Pakistan. He's the second wealthiest man in Pakistan, and they make the glass containers that medicine goes in. And I said, how did you really get rich? When was the light bulb moment in your company of how you really got rich? He said, well, our sales have always been good. Our sales have always been good, right? Our sales have always been good, but one thing we weren't doing was going out and getting the best deal from our suppliers. I said, okay, what do you mean? He said, okay, the medicine that we have goes in these glass containers. Okay, there's only one supplier for those glass medical containers in the world, but we control, our medicine goes in 20% of the glass containers. So we're 20% of his business, the glass people. I went to them and said, I want a 45% discount on the cost of the glass, or I'm going to start my own glass medicine business. And this guy's knackered. He's either got to choose to lose 20% of his business or give this guy the discount to retain it. They gave him a 45% discount. Straight away, last Wednesday, I went back and I worked every one of my suppliers. Who the fuck am I not getting the best deal from? Who am I supplying business to that's not giving me the best deal because I've been with them a couple of years, I didn't negotiate the contract myself, there's another competitor out there that's got a cheaper price. So many people are focusing on getting their sales up, but they're not realizing they're paying one of their suppliers 300% too much to supply something that a competitor can do it lower, or you can do yourself in-house at a lower price. Today, when you go home, write this down. Check your suppliers. Where can I get a better deal? You'll make 100 grand this afternoon if you do this the right way by just sweating your suppliers a bit more. Is this stuff useful so far? We're good? We're enjoying it? Right, so the P&L is very important. Go in this afternoon and look at your profit and loss. Write down who your suppliers are. Then I'd be ringing those suppliers and saying, am I getting the best deal? Oh, you are, Mr. Such and Such. Okay, so I rang one of my suppliers. I'll give you a breakdown. I rang him. Am I getting the best deal from you, Mr. Supplier? Oh, Mark, I love your business. You're getting, okay, what if I pay for a year up front of your bill? I pay you 40 grand a month. What if I pay you 40 times 12? What if I pay that all today? What discount would you give me? I'll give you 20% off because he's hungry for cash, right? And I got a cash heavy business. I got a percentage off just by doing that. Try that in your business and I bet you can get the profits up really, really quickly. Coming back to mindset, and one thing I spoke to you about is mindset. If you're not meditating, you should be. Get a headspace up and start meditating by at least 5 minutes a day. This will really help you as the director of a business. And it comes back to mindset. If you're going to think, and we're all thinking about our business, we're all thinking about our employees, and I've always said if you're going to think big anyway. Okay? A change in the business comes a change in the mindset of the director. And again, all of the people that I mentor, if you show me a bad business, I'll show you a bad director. You show me a good business, I will show you a good director. Your mindset, again, and we spoke about this a lot, about changing your mindset about, do you actually believe, as you're sat down here watching me today, that you can make it in business? That's step one. Do you believe you can make it? How big do you think you can make it? And I challenge you right now to write your goals down for your business, what you think the turnover and profit should be, what you think the office size should be, and the staff size should be, then 10x it. Make it 10 times bigger than you ever thought it could be. Pain is temporary, and quitting lasts forever. Again, stay in there. The messages are the same all day today. Like I said, I met with the owner of that Pakistani medical company. I met with the owner and the CEO of the biggest bank in Australia, the Commonwealth Bank. I believe that to be successful in business, you need to do things a lot differently from everyone else in your competition. Someone is doing something over here, you do something over here. Hey, awesome, now we're learning. I met with the owner of this company here. So I said to him, when I left Australia, you were the smallest bank in the country, right? You were the smallest. You're now the largest bank in the country. What have you done to become the biggest bank in the space of 20 years? He said the same thing. If your competitors are doing something over here, you do something over here. I said, I get that, but what does that actually mean? He said, well, we looked at what our marketing budget was for the year, and we said we would do something different for all of our competitors. I was like, okay, but what did you do? He said, we took that budget and we opened a bank account for every 5-year-old in Australia and we put $2 in it. Every 5-year-old, $2 in the bank. What happens to those 5-year-olds? They become 10-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds. They become millionaires, billionaires, and have families and businesses of their own, and people never change their bank account. I was like, that's bloody genius. How can I do that in my business? What can I do to think a little differently from my competition? My two biggest pains in my business are recruitment, paying too much recruitment fees, and finding new customers. So I came back to the UK, and I believe you've got to give. I wrote a level 1, 2, and 3 course in digital marketing, the first private digital marketing course in the country. I gave it to the Prince's Trust for free and put it in 2 universities. Under the condition that everyone that does my digital marketing course, I get to see the people that get the top 3% of the results, and they get an internship with my company. My last 7 employees have become interns from my own course, just from thinking a little differently. How can you educate people in your sector from what you do, right? And what can you give back to your competitors? How can you think a little bit differently about what you're doing in your business? Talk to you quickly about my seminar that I've got next Friday. It's completely sold out. I've got 515 people coming to talk to me, much like you've heard me speak today. We're going to be running a seminar for the day next Friday in Heathrow. I know it's very short notice and it is sold out. I have freed up 20 tickets for people here if you would like to come. All you have to do is come to the back of the room. It is sold out, so I've done 20 tickets that my guys will free up for you, and I'll give you a 10% discount. I have no VIP, no gold, but I have a standard ticket left. I think it's like 30 or 40 bucks. It's nothing. If you can't do 30 bucks, you're in trouble. Go to the back of the room, speak to my guys. They'll get you up there because I'm going to do a talk like this in much more detail. I'm going to do a Q&A with Lord Sugar about all the things that he's taught me over the last 5 years, about Piers Morgan. He's interviewed the top 10 business people in the world, the overlapping personalities and strategies that they've used, and you can ask them a Q&A as well. I'd love to see you, or as many of you there as possible, because I didn't get to do all my talk today, and I'll finish this there for you. So if you're interested, see my folks. We've got 20 available there, and any questions now I'd love to answer for you. Thank you again for having me in Bristol. That was my new talk, which I've been giving about all the things I've learned from Lord Sugar, from Grant Cardone, about increasing your marketing presence, increasing your sales, and being in business for so many years. People always talk about the success they've had. I now wanted to summarize the hard points, because you don't learn from success. It leaves clues, but you don't learn from it. You learn from mistakes and from failure. So what I really tried to do today was knock into each bit of the failures that I've had. What have I learned from them, and how do I help other people avoid the same mistakes that have happened to me and other business owners that I know? I absolutely love the energy in here, and it really buzzes me up, and I learn so much more about what I want to give in my next talk and what I want people to take away from it.